ever felt like you live in two worlds? You're leading teams at a tech company by day, but at night, you're choreographing dance pieces. Or you're a venture capitalist who's also producing music. Or an engineer who performs opera. You're not alone, and you're not weird. Welcome to the Ampersand Manifesto, the podcast for people who make their mark in multiple fields. I'm Jessica Wan, and after 50 interviews with multi-passionate ampersands, I'm sharing the manifesto, why we keep doing what we do, even when it's hard, and what it means for how we live, lead, and create. Before we dive in, I want to let you know about a special event this weekend in San Francisco, assuming you're listening to this episode the week it comes out. On Sunday, October 19th, we're hosting the Ampersand Summit, an in-person event sparked by this podcast to foster community and share creative practices and inspiration. Learn more at theampersandmanifesto.com. There's a link at the top of the page to sign up. And if you're listening to this episode after the event, don't worry, we'll have more opportunities to meet up in person. Just make sure you're following the podcast, and you can also find us on Instagram as Ampersand Manifesto and follow us there. I've been reflecting a lot on community because community has been a huge theme in my life this fall. Last month, I took a trip to New York City, one of my favorite places on earth. A couple years ago, I'd put a wish out into the world. I wanted to go to New York every year, not just for fun and to see Broadway musicals, but also for work. Back in 2023, when I just started my coaching business and this podcast, I didn't know exactly what shape that work might take or how I would get there. Fast forward 2 years. This past spring, I was introduced by a mutual friend to an ampersand named Christina Libby. Among the many roles she plays as a writer, CMO, and artist, she also started a community for dual career professionals called The Cohort. She and I immediately hit it off, and in September of this year, we co-hosted an Ampersand plus Cohort dinner and works in progress. The theme of the evening was take a risk. As it turns out, this was a great way to get to know people deeply in just a few hours. I realized that risk cannot exist without depth and vulnerability. And depth and vulnerability can't exist without a supportive community. As I think back to my own ampersand life, there are so many people along the way who have been crucial to my journey. Back in business school, there was some popular advice about building your personal board. Like a board of directors for a company, these are people who can advise, mentor, and guide you on your path. I think having this kind of board is essential for ampersands too. But it's a little different with dual careers and creative endeavors. So, I want to break down the 5 types of people that I've found in my community that help keep me going and keep me grounded. Some individuals in my life hold several roles simultaneously, so the categories are non-exclusive. But I do think you need all 5 to feel healthy and robust, especially in the challenging times. So, without further ado, here are some thoughts about community and the 5 types of people in it. Number 1, the people who love you for you, not just your ampersand. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow morning and you suddenly weren't pushing forward any of the many projects on your plate. You were just you, a human being, just being. Who would be there for you no matter what? For me, it's family, close friends, my life partner, my kid, and of course, my dog. These are the people who probably are also your biggest fans for whatever wonderful gifts you share with the world, but they also care for you at a much deeper level. They're your safety net. And it's incredibly important to know that they are always going to be there for you, no matter what. And because they care about you as a human being, you can lean on these folks when work isn't working that well. Chances are these people have known you for a very long time, so you can also get ideas from them about what you were like in a younger stage of life and how you've grown. Sometimes just seeing this perspective allows you to unlock something that helps you move forward. Number 2, the people who love your work. For any creative profession, these people are incredibly important. You might call these folks your audience, your clients, your fans, your followers, your readers. They may or may not know you personally or at varying degrees of closeness, but they show up for you when you put things out into the world. They come to your events, they admire your work, and they might tell other people about what you do. It's likely that these folks feel values alignment with you. They believe in not just your work, but in what that work stands for. They feel inspired by you. At my voice recital this past week, I got to witness the power of the audience firsthand, and it was magical. I saw strangers weeping together. I saw couples sharing a knowing look with each other, and I saw families holding hands. Afterwards, I heard from several people that the energy in that room was electric, so alive. That's the power of the people who love your work coming all together. Number 3, the teachers. A couple episodes ago, we shared that one of the main principles of the Ampersand Manifesto is lifelong learning. So naturally, teachers fall onto this list. No matter what you pursue as your ampersand, along that road, there have been important teachers lighting the path for you. As an opera singer, it's not just the teachers, but the whole teaching lineage. Yes, this is really a thing. I've been studying with my teacher, Susan Gundunas, since 2004. And she's been studying with her teacher, Jane Randolph, for even longer. Depending on the vocal technique, it's an entire community of students who, as some of them become teachers themselves, continue the lineage across generations. I interviewed Susan on this podcast earlier this season, and she said that before she started teaching, she had to get her teacher Jane's blessing, and that it was another teacher in the lineage, Krista Pfeiffer, who helped her get her studio started. If you haven't checked out that episode yet, I highly recommend it. Number 4, the mentors. In my 20s and 30s, I thought of mentorship as purely a work-related thing. Remember, I went to business school. I was very career-focused in the way of paid work. So this was, for me, the marketing world. Through my work at Magoosh, I met a wonderful marketing mentor named David Reamer, and he's actually one of the first interviews in season 1 of this podcast. When I left the marketing role at Magoosh, David and I kept meeting, usually over waffles at Blue Bottle Coffee. Over the years, I realized that I'd started thinking about mentorship in a different way, not just for my paid work, but really for my whole life. And ampersands need ampersand mentors. People who have carved out their multi-passionate lives in unique ways. David and I not only had the marketing profession in common, but also a deep love for and work in the arts. He's a theater producer and is very active on nonprofit boards for arts organizations. So as you can imagine, we have a lot to talk about and a lot in common. We have so many similarities that make our mentor relationship even richer than it used to be. Number 5, the ones on a mutual journey. These people, you are why I started this podcast. Because in the 20 plus years that I've been really living my Ampersand life as an adult, I've been asking myself, where are the other people like me? This podcast is very much a quest to find the ones on a mutual journey, the peers, the people who get it, the potential collaborators, and a place for me to share the amazing work of Ampersand friends that I've made throughout the years. My best friend, Tim Ishins, who has also been interviewed on this podcast, he's my number one singing partner. We've performed together so many times over the last 20 years. And recently, he and I were having a little love fest over text message about how much we've grown as musicians because of each other. I've introduced him to so much in the musical theater world. He's introduced me to so much art song and lieder and classical music. He said, "You're my muse." And I said, "You're my muse." So we proposed a new term, mutuals. When you think of your own Ampersand journey, who are your mutuals? These are the 5 essential types of people for a flourishing Ampersand life. 1, the people who love you for you. 2, the people who love your work. 3, the teachers. 4, the mentors. 5, the ones on a mutual journey. These categories aren't mutually exclusive, and for the folks in my life who fit multiple categories, I am forever grateful. There are 2 more categories I'll offer as a bonus, and maybe sometime on this podcast I'll go in deeper about these types of people. Number 6, the coach, and number 7, the rising stars. Since I work as an executive coach myself, I'd be remiss not to mention the incredible power of having a sounding board and someone external to all these inner workings and messiness in your Ampersand life. And for the up and coming Ampersands, the rising stars, maybe these are teenagers or folks in their early adulthood. They're important to have in your life as well, as you can mentor them or be a friend. I think a lot about the young people who listen to this podcast or who have seen me sing or who are attending the summit and the impact that it has on them to know that an Ampersand life is possible. I'd love to know what resonates with you from this episode. Leave me a voicemail at theampersandmanifesto.com/voicemail or send me an email at j@jessicawan.com. Hope to hear from you. If you liked this show, share it with your friends and fellow Ampersands, and make sure to hit the follow button to be notified when new episodes drop. It would mean the world to us if you took 2 minutes to rate and review the show. Just go to the main show page on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and look for the stars.